Hey, I'm Herald sports writer Manny Navarro.
And I'm Fernandez.
Welcome back to another edition of the Gridiron Report. All right, Dre, so we're down to the nitty-gritty here. 2 weeks left to go. Let's start with Booker T. Washington. Rematch with Jacksonville Bulls in the state finals in Orlando. Let's just start up in Orlando.
Again?
Yes, we're going to start off with Booker T. Again.
Again,
Who do you
Bulls.
like in this game and why? This Bulls team, I mean, they played them kind of tough last year for a couple quarters there.
Yeah, they did. I mean, and Bulls is the premier program that's I've lost count. I mean, is it 20 times yet that they've gotten up there? I mean, it seems like
it's like they got a passport to Orlando.
It's like every year. But you know what? In all seriousness, again, credit to what they do up there. And this, on Monday morning, I was on the press conference call with them and Tim Harris, and it was just back and forth the respect that these two programs have, having faced each other. And really, there's no difference. They run what they run. Booker T does what they do. It seems like the faces have changed, the names have changed, but the systems have pretty much stayed the same for 4 years in a row. So it's going to come down to the chess match between both coaching staffs. To me, I think the Tornadoes just have a lot of talent still. Like I said, different names, they could still do it, and I think they make history. I think they become the first team to win 3 in a row in Dade County. Yeah,
Tim Harris Jr., this is going to be interesting. He's seen his dad go up against Corky Rogers one-on-one every single year here, and Tim Sr. had some trouble with some of the things that Bulls did in the past, but I think Booker T pulls it out on talent alone. Again, just too many playmakers, especially the quarterback position. All right, so let's talk about this 8A semifinal. Columbus and Flanagan. Flanagan undefeated. First time they've ever reached this far in the playoffs. Your thoughts on this matchup?
Well, I mean, I could go on and on about this matchup. I know it was torn last week with Columbus and Killian, but this game, probably even more so, because if you look at it, I think both teams are a reflection of each other. You look at the quarterbacks in this matchup. Tucker Byrne has gotten a lot better this year. The turnovers have been way down to only 6 picks. If that keeps going, I think they have a very good chance. Ryan Stanley has been good for them. The running games on both sides are spectacular. The defenses are very good. I'm going to break it down kind of the way you did last week with the Killian matchup. I think if Columbus, like you said, if they run the football early, the defense stands up the way it has all these last few weeks, they can win this game. Now, if they get out of character early on and the elements get to them, they're going to see all these black T-shirts everywhere. They're doing a blackout again.
Black and green, right.
The lime green, everything. If all of that craziness gets to them, and it happens again, just like it's happened 2 times in 3 years recently for them, where it all seems to cave in this round.
I don't think it happens. I don't think it happens. I think Columbus wins this game and Columbus goes to state. You know why? The quarterback position's been solidified. And I think that the last few years, Tucker Byrne would tell you himself, he kind of got nervous in some of these big games.
Yeah.
He's not nervous anymore. And he's got a great supporting cast. And I think the big difference is the defense. Columbus hasn't had a shutdown defense like this before, where they've dominated teams.
They really haven't.
I think that's why Columbus wins. Your pick?
Well, I think if all of that happens, like I said, my only concern is the elements. But if elements aside, I agree. I think the Explorers pull it out. All
right. Winner of that game would take on either Bradenton Manatee or Apopka, who's another team that seems like they've got an automatic passport to the Citrus Bowl. That'll be that game. All right, so 7A, St. Thomas Aquinas, as you mentioned before, they'll take on Eastlake, number 2 in the state, 13-0. Eastlake's got some guys. 4-star wide receiver George Campbell headed to FSU. Carson Linden, a linebacker fullback who's headed to Virginia Tech. Justin Strand, Wake Forest DB, and a kicker who's headed to Texas A&M. So there's some talent on this Eastlake team. Well, those
Anybody else?
Just 4. I mean, that's pretty good compared to the teams that St. Thomas usually faces.
No. That's my point. I'm saying keep pouring it on. I mean, this could finally be a close game for the Raiders, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, they're coming in here undefeated. It's a good program that's established something this year. For a little while, a lot of pollsters had them number 1 in 7A for a little bit. Once St. Thomas stumbled early on in the year, I can't see this being, what's it been, 50-10, scores like that. I can't see this getting out of control like that.
It'll be a 4-quarter game.
Aquinas does have double that amount of talent, though, and I think that's what's going to pull through.
I agree with you. I think Aquinas in the end by 2 touchdowns probably.
Possibly.
But a close game for the most part.
Yeah.
6A Central, this team right here going on the road to Mainland. Dre, this Mainland team's been waiting for this rematch for a long time. They played Central tough down here. Do the Rockets have enough to win on the road and get back to state for a 5th time?
Sounds kind of like last week with Booker T, where we talked about the motivated team, really wants to beat them. At home, wild, crazy atmosphere. I think you have the same story. Close game, down to the wire, but somehow, some way, these Rockets continue to find the way.
I agree. Winner of that game will either take on unbeaten Armwood or Choctawhatchee.
There you go.
All right. In 5A, American Heritage, they're going to be hosting Orlando Bishop Moore.
And Bishop Moore, what is it with these schools that have these great baseball programs, all of a sudden getting good in football? Have you noticed that? We were talking about it last week with Wellington. Here's another one. But no, I can't. This Heritage team, I will say it's another blowout.
Yeah,
How about that?
All right, that wraps up our picks for this week. We'll see you next week.